Welcome to another edition of Creatives in the Wild. And today we are filming in the 105-year-old Lincoln Theater in beautiful downtown Belleville. And we are very lucky to be able to spend some time with a friend of mine who is a writer, producer, director, and movie star.
Oh, that's a stretch.
Right?
Movie
Well,
star.
30 feature films. I mean, I don't know if it's a stretch. Miss Jackie Kelly.
Hello.
Yeah. Everybody claps and everything. So, Jackie, the first time I met you, I remember you came into a room. We were both working at one of the medical universities.
Okay.
And you had multicolor hair.
That
and I
sounds
thought,
right.
this gal, somebody I've got to talk to. And I found out not long after that you were working the, what's it called? The train in St. Louis.
Yeah.
The
Polar Express. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And that was pretty much it as far as careers. I mean, we did what we did with the schools, and years later, I mean, only like a couple years ago, I found out that you were so involved in making movies.
Oh, you didn't know that
I
part.
didn't.
Okay.
And we got talking about your most recent movie, Hag, which is available on Tubi and...
Not yet. Hag, not yet.
Not yet?
No. We just started our festival run.
Oh, okay.
So it'll probably be a good year before
Really?
we have
That long?
streaming.
Well,
Yeah.
I know when we talked about it, you were telling me that you were filming it at the time and that it could be 2 years before it actually came out.
Yeah, I mean, we started shooting Hag in October of 2024, and we just premiered it, July 9th? And
Yeah.
we had just finished it like a week before the premiere. So it was about, a year and a half, a little less than a little more than a year and a half.
And
so.
you not only starred in it, but you did write, you and directed,
Yes.
and produced,
Yes.
which you've done production before and writing before. But is this your first round at directing?
It's my first feature.
Okay.
I've directed short films,
Yeah.
but it is my first feature length.
And how was that directing yourself? Is that weird or?
Oh, it's really, really, really challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things when I decided I was going to do it, I knew it would be hard.
Yeah.
But then it ended up being like a million times harder than I anticipated.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I had way too much confidence going into it or something.
Well, it kind of blows my mind so when you're thinking about things and directing yourself, I mean, I guess you're doing it in your mind first, but unlike when you have a director giving you direction, do you say out loud what you're changing or what you're doing, whether it affects the other actors or not?
No, I don't, because I believe pretty strongly that good acting happens when people react naturally.
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
I'm gonna throw them something new, I'd rather them react to it authentically rather than knowing what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But the really challenging thing about directing yourself more than anything, I thought, was trying to stay in character while you're in scene with another performer. And you're in the middle of a take and this actor over here, you have to adjust their performance on the next take.
Yeah.
Trying to remember the notes you're gonna give them after you yell cut and still stay in character is it makes the brain
I can't
spin,
imagine.
Yeah.
But you were the sole writer on Hag, weren't you?
Yes,
so,
I wrote the
and you've
screenplay.
written, co-written with other things,
Yes.
including your first film, which
Yes.
was
In Memory of.
In Memory of. And so I'm going to go way back and just say that you were born in Sleepy Hollow,
Yes,
Illinois,
it was destined to be.
which is north of Chicago, right? A
Yeah,
little bit?
northwest
Yeah.
suburbs. It's about 45 minutes outside
But
of
a
the
nice
city.
kind of wooded kind of area.
It's very suburban. It's very,
really?
yeah, it's very, I wouldn't call it wooded. It's just very middle America suburban. Yeah.
Did the fact that it was Sleepy Hollow have any effect on you and your future movement into scary stuff?
You would think so, but
Yeah.
I think it's purely coincidental.
Well, I think you should change that because I think it's a great story if you
Yeah,
incorporate
well,
that.
I guess, they do this one thing. I don't know if they still do it, actually, but when I was a kid, they used to do it around Halloween. They'd have a big bonfire,
Yeah.
and they'd actually have someone on a horse
Oh, yeah.
with the stump on their head, the prosthetic
Yeah.
stump,
Yeah.
right, the headless horseman ride around. And so
Yeah.
maybe there was something that clicked in me from a young age.
Well,
I don't know.
And I think there's a big farm up there called the Sleepy Hollow Farm or something like that. I was reading up on it, and they deliberately took it from the Washington Irving
Sure,
book
sure.
thing. But yeah, so you were there and you started your drama career there, I guess.
In Sleepy Hollow, yeah. I mean, I did theater all throughout like middle school and high school, but then I came down to St. Louis for college. I went to Webster University,
Right, yeah.
and I studied screenwriting.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
So the whole turning into an actor thing, even though I spent a lot of my early years doing it, that was never really the plan.
Yeah,
Just kind of happened.
it's
So,
funny how it works like that.
yeah.
I went to
Yeah.
broadcasting school and thought I was going to be on the air, and ended up being in the background doing things
Right.
in radio,
Right.
for decades.
Right.
If you were going to give advice to somebody, do you think that's a good approach? If somebody wants to follow, say, in your footsteps, they want to become. And is this wrong? Let me digress here.
I don't know if I would recommend it.
Well, we'll talk about that too, because you've been in 30 films, or more, I think,
More.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a lot.
But I met you because we were both doing other things.
Right.
And you have to do other things.
Yeah, independent film is not sustainable on its own, unfortunately. I'd love it if
Well,
it was, but
But so say somebody wants to be an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And is this wrong if I think I've referred to you a couple of times to other people as a scream queen. Is that wrong? Is that
I don't think it's wrong. A lot of
Is it-
people do. I don't consider myself one.
Okay,
I
well,
don't.
and I it's kind of
But it's not the first time I've heard it.
okay. Well, it's painted with a wide brush because what I've seen has been more deep psychological thriller kind of stuff.
And that's why I don't really claim the term,
Yeah.
because I think I consider the work that I do, even though most of the films that I do fall somehow within the horror genre.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them all horror films. They're just, I gravitate towards dark subject matter.
They're dark, and I tell you, and Hag,
Hag's very dark.
it's very dark. And I came into it thinking, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to see some kind of a jump scare,
No.
slasher thing, and it totally was not that. And it blew my mind. I think I told you afterwards. I was just like, phew, because
Cool.
yeah, your acting was terrific, and I'm not just saying that because you're a friend and we're doing an interview thing here, but it was really, really good.
Thank you.
And you delved really deeply into the character. So here's a question for you, and I'm digressing. We're all over the place
No,
here,
it's
but
fine.
what kind of research and searching did you have to do to get into that role?
It's a lot of Reddit. I spent a
Yeah.
lot of time on Reddit finding. Do you know about like Ask Me Anything
Yeah,
on Reddit? Like a lot of like sex worker Ask
Yeah.
Me Anything,
Really?
stuff like that. I spent a lot of time on Reddit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of understand the ins and the outs, like the logistics of the career path.
Yeah.
But then outside of that, because I feel like her being a sex worker is such a it's not who she is. It's like that's her career, but it's not who she. Everything else
Yeah.
is just very internal.
Well,
you
and
know?
there's some stuff that is definitely, this gal's a sex worker, but you know what? It's funny, and I hope you take this as a compliment, but when I look back at it, I didn't even really think sex worker. When you just said, oh, you went to Reddit and you were looking at that, I was thinking about young, and when I've told anybody about it, I said it's a young woman who is hitting that point where she's like thinking she's starting to look older. She's 30, I think, and having deep psychological problems dealing with it, as well as other things going on in her life. That's the way, and how she handles it. That's how I was looking at it. I
And
didn't
that's
even
great.
think about it.
That's
yeah.
great, because it is I think it's much more about that than it is about her being
Yeah.
a sex
Well, it came
worker,
across
you
that way,
know?
so that's good. That's a good
Good.
thing. Yeah, yeah, and the audience was, they were really into it. Now it was a smaller venue, and I'm sure you have a fan base that follows you. There were people there that said, there was Q&A afterwards, and they're like, "I love you." They were like really into it.
I know, it's weird.
Well, is it weird?
It is.
And
yeah.
I'm sure you've heard it
Well,
at
the
other Q&As.
hometown, the hometown screenings. I've talked to my husband about this a lot, because we had such a good response to it.
Yeah.
The hometown screening you have to take with a grain of salt, I think, because everyone that you know and everyone that loves you is
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
they're like, "Wow, Jackie, you're so amazing." I'm like, just wait.
Yeah.
till we bring it to a fest out of state, and people are like, "Wow, this really sucks," you know, because
Well, that's
they
not
don't
gonna
have to be
happen.
nice to
Yeah,
me.
that's not going to happen. Is that a long process, the festival part of it?
What do you mean? What element?
Well, you
of
said you're
it?
entering that festival
Yeah,
stage and you take it
so-
out of state. And,
Yeah, so the thing with festivals is I'm actually in a period right now where I don't know what festivals I'm playing, because you submit to these festivals and they pick from hundreds, sometimes thousands of submissions.
Okay.
So I actually, what are we in, late July right now? I should be hearing back within the next, I should be hearing a lot of no's and hopefully some yeses over the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of determine the rest of the year for us. And that will possibly take us through middle of the year next year. So, yeah.
Now, the festival in St. Louis was like thriller-based festival. It was,
Yeah, Hysteria
Hysteria
Fest.
Fest.
Paul Hibbard, the programmer, he's a good friend of mine. It's like, I guess, a horror film festival, but his sensibilities are they're kind of similar to mine, where he's like, well, his definition of horror is similar to my definition of horror, which isn't just like jump scare, ghosts and
Yeah.
goblins. Like, it's just subversive, kind of transgressive, dark
Yeah,
cinema.
yeah.
So he's been doing that for, I think this was his 5th year doing the
Okay.
festival.
And when you apply to festivals, do you always, I don't know if do you have a publicity person that's doing this?
No,
or is this a Jackie
no,
at
I
home?
don't. This
or
is Jackie at home
Yeah.
in front of her laptop, because
Okay.
a publicity person is very expensive, and we made a very low budget movie.
Well,
So,
it doesn't come off that way. And
good. I'm
yeah.
glad to hear that. 'Cause
So-
it is a very inexpensive movie.
Okay,
so.
well, and it's a feature film though,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't even really know. I had to look it up. What makes a film a feature film? And it's
long.
It's a longer
Yeah,
film,
yeah.
long form film. It's
Yeah.
not a short.
Right.
It's not. I guess it came from back in the day when they'd run movies and they'd have shorts and they'd have cartoons and stuff, and then here's the feature
Feature
film.
presentation,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's a couple hours.
It's
real
about
close.
hour 40.
Yeah.
Hour 40.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're looking at festivals, are you searching out a specific genre of festival?
Yeah, so mostly they're actually called genre festivals.
Oh, okay.
And that what happens at a genre festival is a lot of horror films, science fiction films, fantasy films, dark comedies, everything that's not a straight drama or a straight comedy, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
anything that's either dark or weird or
Yeah.
not mainstream. So
And-
genre fests, underground fests, stuff like
Okay.
that.
And the people that are putting it on, that are like curating
Mm-hmm.
the festival, I guess, they're the ones that choose who's going to be in it.
Correct.
And then who judges?
I think it depends on the festival. A lot of the festivals have audience awards, and then a lot of festivals have full juries of people that determine
Okay.
the awards, and smaller festivals probably only have a handful of people that determine.
Have you been asked to judge at all?
No, I never have.
I'm kinda surprised.
No, I never have.
In the art world, that
Mm-hmm.
the part of it that I'm in, a lot of times we as artists will be asked to judge a different art show or different art groups
Yeah,
show, things
yeah.
like that, which is a scary proposition sometimes. You
Yeah.
got to critique. And
Yeah, and it's like so subjective,
It
because
is.
yeah, I've been watching a lot of films lately that were produced on a similar budget level to mine, to HAG, and have played at similar festivals, or have whatever. Just my peers, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. And there's some films I've watched that have been like that. I've heard have been rejected from these festivals, that I'm just like shocked by it, because they like these just
Yeah.
wonderful independent films that you watch. Like, as a filmmaker, I watch them and I'm like, I don't know how the hell they did this. As an actress, once I wrap up my role on set, the film's out of my hands.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
completely out of my hands. So people ask, when's this coming out? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
not involved unless they have me come back and like re-record some dialogue. Like, the post-production process is normally out of my hands. So this has
Yeah.
been a different experience for me, for sure.
Well, let's take a step back. I started asking you if there is some ingenue out there that wants to become the Jackie Kelly of the future, what would you suggest? And I think Webster's cool because I'm old. I just had 2 grandkids graduate from Webster, and I
no
still have
kidding.
a 3rd one there.
Okay.
So they're all doing different things.
Yeah.
And Webster has a lot to offer there.
Yeah.
So,
Are any of them in the arts?
only computer arts,
Okay.
one of them. And another one is into sports, maybe broadcasting,
Okay.
sports medicine, things like that.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd one was biomedical engineering,
All
which is
kinds of
right over my
yeah,
head. It's like-
same, 100%.
But it's a good school. I mean, they're really happy.
Oh, good.
So you would say start young. What you started
I
fairly
started
young.
pretty young. I mean, I started acting in theater when I was really young, like 12 years old, but I started doing film. I mean, I went to film school, but I did my first feature-length film when I was 21. I think I was 21 when we started shooting that. So
That's a long way from 12, but it's still pretty young.
yeah, it's pretty young. So I've been doing it for a while. I'm 33 now, so I've been doing it for a while. It seems
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah, well, it probably seems like that.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
What was the thing you did when you were 12?
My first show ever, I used to do musicals. So my
Okay,
first show
all right.
was Seussical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the
it was in
Seussical the
Seussical,
musical.
and you know,
yeah.
like the kangaroo character.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
actually, you know how there's like she has the baby kangaroo in her pouch?
Yeah, I think so.
They ended
I
up
don't
making a
remember.
character out of the baby kangaroo, because normally I think it's a puppet.
Okay.
You know, a lot of productions, the baby kangaroo's a puppet.
Yeah.
They made me the baby kangaroo.
I'm familiar with it. I haven't
So,
seen it, but I know.
I had
I
one
know
line.
It. Really?
Yes.
How did they do that? That you were the baby? You were
I
separate
was
from
just,
the mom?
yeah, I was just really small.
But you sang?
I sang one line. I
That's funny.
sang "Me Too." That was the line.
Really?
Me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you sing in Hag too, and it's
I do
it's
sing in Hag,
awesome.
yeah,
I didn't know you
yeah,
could sing.
yeah.
And do you sing? Have you sung in other?
No, I've never sung in anything else. I think that's
Yeah.
funny though, because I've had a lot of people tell me that, like, Jackie, I didn't know you could sing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I grew up in the theater, like a lot of
Yeah, I guess
actors.
you
Like,
have to.
I think it's funny when people are surprised actors can sing,
I
because I'm like, we
guess,
all grew up doing like Oklahoma and shit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Yow. Yeah. Well, so far we've got start young and prepare yourself to sing. If
I
you're gonna be-
guess. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it in your back pocket.
And then do a lot of stuff. Did you do a lot of things? Try to get on stage a lot? Or?
I mean, not after I started college. I did a couple of shows when I was like a couple of like one act plays when
Yeah.
I was in college, but
Yeah.
I'd kind of like abandoned that.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the theater, but I don't know. I like the medium of film so much more, and I always knew that I wanted to go into film, even
Yeah.
when I was like actively participating in the theater scene.
Okay, so I got to jump into this part of it, which I'm sure you probably get asked about all the time. But is it a spoiler to say what probably the most dramatic scene in Hag is?
Yes, it is a spoiler.
It is, so I
Yes.
shouldn't say
I know
it.
exactly what scene
Okay.
you're talking about.
Well,
Yes, I think it's
it's
a
a
spoiler.
dramatic scene. Let's
It's a
put it this
very
way.
dramatic
We'll skirt
scene.
it. And you shot it from several angles.
Yes.
And I know from the Q&A you said there was a, well, I don't want to give too much away, but it's a dramatic scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been dramatic personally for anybody
Mm-hmm.
to do this scene. And I don't want to give too much away. It's hard not to, but you want to get it in one take.
Yeah, well, luckily, with the 3-camera setup, and the whole process took about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So, you know,
Yeah.
we had a lot to cut. If anything, we had like too much footage to go through.
Did you break? Did you take breaks
Yeah,
during
yeah,
it?
there are little breaks. It wasn't just like a
Yeah.
straight 45 minutes. There were definitely like maybe 10-minute takes.
Yeah,
And then
it's dramatic, and it's
Very.
a little hard to. There's some, you know, I love you, and I think you're a great actress and stuff. There are certain things that don't play to me as much that were hard for me to watch.
Sure.
It's like, oh my God, I hope they didn't really just do that thing that I just saw, or, you know. I'll be specific and not too much of a spoiler, but there's one part where you are pricked with a thorn.
yes.
Did you actually get pricked with a thorn?
No.
It
No,
sure
that's,
looked like
That's
it.
great. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that. My effects artist will be happy.
Oh,
to hear
yeah.
that. No. That's a special effect.
Okay, because that was like, oh my God,
No, that
was
is
very
a
good
special
done.
effect.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and I went with another friend
Oh,
of
he'll be so
ours
happy to hear
who
that.
watched it kind of like this. I think he was like looking through his fingers because it was like, oh my God. And it's interesting that because I didn't know what I was walking into, and I assumed wrongly that it was going to be that jump scare kind of a thing, and was just like, I mean, I was just bowled over. It's very dramatic and it was deep, and I don't know how you pulled it off. I mean, I think that there were some really very realistic things going on in this character's head that I just would have thought you'd had to do a lot of research on. And we do a little bit of acting with the medical schools and stuff, and there's been some psychological things that we've done which draw stuff out of you, but nothing that pulled you this far.
yeah, I mean I feel like that's the kind of work that I excel at the most, though, and the majority of the roles that I take as an actor in films are very like that.
They're deep. They're
Dark.
Yeah.
Yes. Unhinged, I would say.
Do you need downtime afterwards to like shake some of that stuff off?
Not really. I've always been pretty good about not letting it stick with me.
That's good. I mean,
Yeah.
there are even little things that we would do with the student doctors where it's like they want you to unwind and they want you to loosen up afterwards and stuff. But this was much deeper levels.
And the thing is, when you're directing, though, you can't really. I mean, you got to snap
Yeah.
right out of it.
Good point.
'Cause, you know,
Yeah.
you're steering the ship.
So, was this your first solo writing?
It's my first feature that I wrote that's been produced. I have other features that I've written that solo that have not been produced.
Okay.
But I've written shorts that have been produced. And
Yeah. Is it something that you want to do more of?
if I could be remembered for one thing when I die, I would like to be remembered as a writer.
Oh, that's
I'm,
good.
Yes, I'm actually in the process of writing a novel right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yes, I will always write. The thing is with films, you know, it's so expensive to make a film.
Yeah.
So I'm trying this whole like novel writing thing because it's something that I can do independently without having to pay a bunch of people. You know.
There are groups out there that are production groups that work in smaller genre film stuff. Isn't there one like 88? There's one that's like 88 plus or something.
88 millimeter? You mean?
88
yeah.
millimeter.
Yeah, I know those guys.
And they do a lot of that type of film, I think, and backing. Are those the groups that back, money-wise, that back making
88?
them? Yeah.
No. 88. They're just a troupe of filmmakers.
Okay.
They're scraping financing together just like I am, you know, whether it be from crowdfunding or grant money or investors or whatever.
All right, so let's step back again, and so we're making this list for the future Jackies out there. So start young, get on the stage, maybe keep that singing in your back pocket. You might need
Doesn't
that.
hurt.
Yeah. Be sure to broaden your horizons with other things that you can do while you're pursuing that goal. Anything else you can think of? Any advice?
Develop a masochistic streak for sure.
At least a thick skin, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, don't expect anything to happen overnight. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because it's I think there's this idea that gets floated around that gets romanticized, even in the independent circles, of like this person just being discovered overnight, and it's this wonderful, nice story. But in reality, like the people that are discovered overnight have been grinding for 10 years,
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
20, 30 years. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes. There's a lot of work we're doing that no one is seeing, and it's just that it's a lot of work. And if you're doing the independent film thing, it's from a monetary standpoint. I mean, it's so hard to make your money back on an independent film, you know. So you've got to do it for the love of it.
You're doing it for the love of it, and you're hoping that maybe it begins to gain some momentum and moves into other things.
I just want to make more. I just want to have the opportunity to keep making stuff.
So you're making things, and that's and that's it. That's the best place to be, I think. But did you do a lot of auditioning? Did you do when your earlier
yeah, I
roles?
still do. I still do.
And you got to have thick skin for that.
yeah. Oh, it's yes.
You can't. I mean, if you take it personally,
Oh, yeah.
your history. You know,
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
you can't do it.
Because you have ups and downs too.
Yeah.
Like I'll have years where it's like I'm just back to back to back working on independent films, and then
Yeah.
I'll have years where I'm reading for stuff constantly and no one's hiring me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like there seems to be no like happy medium ever. You're either like
Yeah.
really slow or you have like too many projects.
Are
know?
you with Now Talent?
I am with Now.
So am
Yeah.
I. And the gals there are great. And they told me one time early on when I was having trouble handling all the rejection, they said, you got to remember, because I'd be like, I nailed it. I know it was perfect. I nailed And they'd be like, what the director or the talent person has in their head is what they have in their head.
Right.
And you may be perfect in that role, but if it's not what they want, if it's not what they're thinking about, then, it's just,
I had a really, really unique, eye-opening experience when I was casting Hag, because most of the roles in the film, I didn't even audition people for. They were actor friends of mine that I was like, you'd be perfect for this. I mean, a couple of the people I actually wrote roles for them.
Okay.
And so a lot of people didn't have to audition. And then there were a handful of roles where I didn't know the actor for it, and so I did hold self-tape auditions. I was shocked going through this process because I've never cast a movie before
Yeah.
this way through the self-tape, because it's a relatively new thing,
Yeah.
the self-tape. I was so shocked that I'd watch these tapes, and I would watch all of them all the way through. If someone's going to send a tape, they work hard on these things. They deserve to be watched from start to finish. That being said, I would know in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I would know right away as soon as
Yeah.
as they said their name and what role they were reading for. As soon as they
Interesting.
like, it's because a self tape is generally framed like top of head to like mid chest.
Right.
You'd see it in people's shoulders,
Oh,
like how
really?
they carry. There's like a certain level of confidence someone either exudes or doesn't
Interesting.
in their posture, and
Yeah.
I could tell right away.
I've done a bunch of that.
I could
and,
tell right away.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, it was like a little.
Stand up straight.
It was, but not necessarily. It depends on the role,
Yeah.
right? You
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
It totally depends on the role.
Yeah.
It was
So
eye-opening.
feel the role when you're doing the.
Yeah.
I mean, feel it
yeah.
really.
Yeah, because you do when you're casting something. I mean, I can't speak for everyone that's cast anything, of course, but from my experience, I really would know right off the bat
Yeah.
if someone was an option or not.
I think that's probably really true.
And it didn't mean the people that weren't right. It didn't mean that they were bad actors
Right.
by any stretch of the
But
word.
you had your.
But you're like, they're not
mental
right for this.
concept.
They're
Yeah.
right for something else,
Yeah.
but not this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So so on the list here, another thing is you have a thick skin. And,
Yeah, and to take rejection with a grain of salt, because it
Yeah.
doesn't, and and a lot of times with commercial casting specifically, I think a lot of the clients don't know what they're looking for until they see it.
That
You
could
know what I
be-
mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, sometimes somebody will jump out that's like, wow, that's
Right.
I
Right.
didn't expect that.
But sometimes I find with commercial casting, the age range they have auditioned for is
Yeah.
just so. I mean, sometimes they're like, we're looking for men and women aged 30 to 70, and you're
Right.
like, oh my, like this could be
Oh, yeah.
anyone,
Pacific Islander or Caucasian.
Right,
Or, yeah.
right. And like the odds of me booking this are so slim because they're
Yeah.
pulling from such a huge pool of different types of
Across the
people.
country.
Across
even.
the country. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the thing that's really challenging with the industry's transition to the self-tape, right? We have just infinitely more competition than we've ever had.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's tough out there.
I was lucky enough to start doing this stuff as I had retired.
Mm-hmm.
And so there wasn't the pressure of
Sure.
I'm going for these things, but
And
I've
if I
got
don't,
to
I
keep
don't pay
doing
my
these things.
bills.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know what? You can see it in people's faces sometimes too. In any industry,
anxiety and-
really. But
yeah. It's
So
anxiety-inducing.
if out of all the films you've done, is there anything that in your career as an actress that really stands out as a shining moment for you? I mean, I
Hag.
know you've won.
Hag, man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You've won awards for Best Actress.
Yeah.
But Hag, yeah.
Hag's my baby.
I'm glad
You know?
that that's kind of where I started.
Yeah, it's my baby.
Because man, well, you set the bar high. Now you got to keep going.
Oh man, gotta follow it up.
Yep,
It's
yep,
gonna be
yep.
a minute before I do that.
Are you gonna try and write your next role, or are you going? Do you keep auditioning? Or?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I'm still auditioning, and
Yeah.
I've got to shoot. What month are we in? End of July.
July.
I've got to shoot in September. I've got a couple things lined up for next
Good.
year, features for next year.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely still acting. So I won't be writing all of my roles.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know if you remember my son Jack, who worked with us also.
I do. Yeah. I
Jack's the
remember
one
Jack.
who helps me produce
Yeah.
these things. And he said, ask Jackie if there's ever been anything that she read that she thought she could get, but was like, I just don't want this. I do not want to do this role.
I was like, oh, like someone's offered me?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Really?
All the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've turned down a lot of stuff just because
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not right for me. I'm not the right person for this.
I think there's a lot of actors and actresses out there that just think they've got to take whatever.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And
Good
you shouldn't.
advice.
And I'm a lot pickier now than I used to be. I definitely had a phase in my career where I feel like I should have been a lot more pickier.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But, you're figuring things out.
Sure, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Any advice that you've got on being creative, on where you get your inspiration for things?
The best advice I could give is don't wait for inspiration.
Yeah.
I think waiting for inspiration is like a surefire way to like never make any progress. Because
Yeah.
I talk to people, specifically with writing, I talk to a lot of people about that, that are like, I have this really great idea for a screenplay. I'm just waiting to feel inspired to sit down and write it. And I just am like, dude, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've been writing for a while now, and like I promise you, like I never feel like writing. Like
Really?
I never. Once I sit down
Yeah.
and start doing it, I have a great time.
So you don't, the
but I never
muse doesn't
wanna,
hit you?
No, I never want to sit down because it's really hard.
Yeah.
And like I feel like humans are programmed to avoid hard things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really hard, and so I have to like drag. I write on the couch normally.
Okay.
I bring my laptop because my dog likes to sit with me, and so he snuggles up with me, and I have to drag myself to the couch to write. And once I start and once I'm in it, I'm great, and I'm having a good time, and hours will pass, and
Yeah.
I won't even realize how much time has passed.
Yeah.
But this thing that people do where they wait until I feel that spark, I'm like, man, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of writing's really hard, and a lot of times it's really, really frustrating. And if you just sit there and wait for the ideas come to you through the act of writing.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean?
I do.
You find things as through the act of writing. So
I've got a novel, I'm 25 chapters into it, and it is sat collecting dust. And it's
Yeah.
like, but I will, something will hit me, and I'll be like, I'm drawn to it. I got to
Yeah.
get back into
Yeah.
it. I got to start
Yeah.
writing again. With the initial idea, was it something that just popped in your head, or was it something that came from?
For
and I'm
Hag?
thinking, like, yeah, for Hag.
Oh, it came, it was something that was really bothering me because I'm a woman that has social media. And like, the algorithm, all of our algorithms are tailored to various things. Like
Yeah.
the demographics we belong, like I'm sure your demographic or your algorithm is very different from
Yeah.
mine because you were a man and you were in a different age bracket
Right.
than I'm in.
Right.
My husband's algorithm is very different from mine. Like I started writing it when I was approaching 30, and like just all of a sudden, like the algorithm was just like started feeding me this, skincare and like you look old and here's how to not look old stuff. And I'm just like, dang, I'm like only 30. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I'm like really young. And I found it really disturbing and really angering.
There are things that pick up these algorithms. I mean, it blows my mind. I don't know if my TV's listening to me or my phone.
We always
or
say
what.
that the phones are they gotta be. They
I
gotta
mean,
be. not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but they gotta be
I'm
listening
with you
to
on
us.
that one
Yeah.
because it's so
They
weird.
know too much.
They know,
Yeah, it
and it's
knows
like
too
it's all of a
much.
sudden something pops up and it's like, holy crap!
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Right.
I wasn't even didn't even verbalize it.
Right, and now they're trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an inspiration.
Oh, absolutely!
Yeah.
Because I just started getting like bombarded. I think women, once you hit a certain age, you just start getting bombarded with that stuff, And I think social media has made this obsession so much worse for a lot of women. Like the accessibility to like cosmetic enhancement. It's just more widespread than it's ever been. And so between just the accessibility of the procedures and the constant messaging, it's just something that honestly just started to make me feel really angry.
Really?
That I feel like women are being distracted by this thing that doesn't matter, this thing that should not matter.
But it's so funny because it's almost like the science fiction that I remember from decades ago is like science reality now.
I know. Me and my husband were literally just talking about this morning. Like
I picked up on that algorithm there with you.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, and with all of the new weight loss drugs and the injectables and this and that, and it's like, wow, we're all going to look the same.
Yes, and I think the world that we live in, I think people are feeling like they don't have a lot of control right now. And I think these cosmetic procedures, whether it be, the Botox or, the breast implants or the Ozempic or whatever, it gives us some sense of control, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's dark and seedy, and I think it's just ripe with good content for a film because it's dystopian. Right?
It is dystopian, and it's creepy. I mean, your Hag could have gone a lot of different ways, and it took me. There were things like there was a locked room that I kept expecting something different with that, and there were a lot of things, without giving too much away, that they're just like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's really.
I'm glad to hear that because you spend enough time with the film, it completely loses. When you've seen it as many times as I've seen it, like it completely loses its impact. And so you're like, I hope people like this.
Maybe one of the best things that I can say about it is I called the guy that went with me to see it, a friend of ours, Michael, and we talked about it. That was what we wanted to talk about. I mean, it was impactful enough. It wasn't we went to that film. It's like, no, what did you think about this? Or how did that affect you?
That's awesome.
And he's
I love to hear that.
He's like, well, it didn't haunt my dreams. I did sleep okay last night, but it was like, when we left the theater, it was in question.
I love that.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
Well, good.
I'm really happy to hear that.
I'm happy that you gave us some time today.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much time we've spent here, really. But we never really got to talk a whole lot like this, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
Jackie
having me.
Kelly, actress. Check out Hag. Look at her whole the whole list of
dark,
all the
sordid
and there's
filmography.
some great stuff, and it's out there. And no hints on where you're going to be in 5, 10, 15 years? What do you think?
Oh man, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, I still want to be doing what I'm doing, but hopefully I'll have a couple novels under my belt by that time.
That'd be cool.
That's what I
that we can make into movies, right?
Maybe,
yeah.
Maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This has been Creatives in the Wild with Miss Jackie Kelly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
And I told her early on that these seats are so nice and close, it's almost like we're dating. But I gotta give you a hug. So
Thanks for
thank you. All right.
This was fun.
See you again.